for the biggest favor yet. Dems are raging. You all probably already heard all about the Hawaii judge who decided to go against Trump's travel ban after the Supreme Court said it's illegal. Did you hear how the president handled it? Well, good thing is the Supreme Court is very conservative. So what does the president do? Oh, he just called up Gorsuch and the crew and asked them to reverse the Hawaii judge's ruling. The issue arises from grandparents. The Supreme Court ruled that only bona fide relationships could enter the U.S. Donald Trump specified that as siblings, parents, and children. The judge in Hawaii, who blocked the travel ban once before, said that grandparents are not blocked by the ban. The real issue is the second they get away with this, the leftists will unblock everything. Luckily President Trump also has Attorney General Sessions at his side, who had this to say: "The Supreme Court has had to correct this lower court once, and we will now reluctantly return directly to the Supreme Court to again vindicate the rule of law and the executive branch's duty to protect the nation." It looks to me like the president has a good setup. Still, he can use everyone's help. That's why we gotta share this out everywhere and show the president we are on his side on this. When Trump spots U.S. troops in Bastille Day parade, he does something amazing. Obama would never do this. President Donald J. Trump and First Lady Melania are in Paris today, celebrating Bastille Day with French President Macron, his wife, and the entire nation of France. This year is a dual celebration. They are also celebrating the 100-year anniversary of American soldiers entering France in WWI. President Trump and the First Lady are the guests of honor this year. It was a perfect day for the parade. Tens of thousands of French citizens lined the streets of the Champs-Élysées from l'Arc de Triomphe to Place de la Concorde. President Trump is a true patriot and truly loves our military like no other president in modern history. You can see the pride in his eyes when the American troops come by in the grand parade. And look what he does. That's right, he salutes our troops. He doesn't do it as some sort of required part of a ritual. He salutes out of pure respect and love for the men and women of our military. Most of the broadcasts just show a quick shot of President Trump saluting as if it were just a quick salute where he brought his hand right down. In fact, President Trump held his salute the entire time our troops were going by. This is awesome. Please share this if you are extremely proud of President Trump and our troops. God bless our troops and our president. God bless America. IRS boss just made huge announcement that will have Trump grinning from ear to ear. You know the IRS is in bad shape when even the IRS boss admits they'd need help. IRS Commissioner John Koskinen went on Fox News Wednesday in a tell-all interview about his agency. Koskinen related how his agency offered to help the Trump administration, saying, "One of the questions was, if major tax reform simplification was on the table, would there be anybody in the IRS opposed to that? I was quick to respond, after having talked to employees, that nobody is more supportive of tax simplification than the IRS." President Trump made tax reform a huge part of his campaign, and his Secretary of Treasury Steve Mnuchin said he planned on simplifying the tax code so that the average American should be able to do his taxes on a large postcard. Mnuchin plans on doubling the standard deduction for most Americans and also reducing the number of tax brackets from 7 to 3, and called his proposed changes the biggest tax cut and the largest tax reform in the history of our country. Vice President Mike Pence has previously stated that tax reform will happen by the end of the year, which could hopefully mean big savings for most Americans in the next tax year. Koskinen also talked about how a simplification of the tax codes could benefit American people and the government. Most people want to be compliant, but when you make it very difficult for them to work through the various nooks and crannies, it doesn't seem, to me, to be in the best interest of the taxpayer or government. We didn't need the IRS boss to tell us that the IRS needs a lot of help, but it's great to see that he's on board with reform, and even better to see that we now have an administration in charge that is ready to tackle tax reform head on. Share 20,000 times if you agree. H/T Fox News Cooper unloads on Dr. Gorka, immediately regrets it. CNN is over. Dr. Sebastian Gorka is savage. Fake news. Anderson Cooper tried to debate Trump White House Deputy Assistant Sebastian Gorka, and got shredded like a block of cheese. CNN is so bad, so shallow, so biased, and one-sided. They, CNN, are entirely unwatchable. America is awake, and knows they are fake news. Gorka called the idea that there is a bunker mentality or crisis about this week's Donald Jr. news in the White House laughable. Video below. We are pushing the Make America Great Again agenda. The president is a steam locomotive that will not be stopped. It's just fake news. I'm sad to see CNN fall to this. I know you want salacious, sensational coverage for your ratings, so your corporate sponsors and owners will have more money. But that's not media, that's not reportage, it's just fake news. Sebastian Gorka, I'm just going to ignore the insults, because I don't think it gets us anywhere, Cooper cried. It is not about you, Gorka said. It is about actually having journalism back on TV. Where are the Walter Cronkites? It is all about ratings and money. It is really quite sad. Video below. Watch Gorka shred Cooper. Gorka, I stand by what the president and his son said. We are incredibly impressed by Don Jr.'s transparency and the fact that he actually published these emails. I thought we were going to talk about real issues, like what we're doing with our allies in France. The story only exists, it only has legs because of the fake news industrial complex is obsessed. 9 months of accusations with zero evidence of anything actually illegal. H/T Real Clear Politic. Hundreds of immigrants just got letter from Trump, shocked when they see what's inside. When a person becomes a U.S. citizen, it is customary that they receive a welcoming letter signed by the current President of the United States. Aisha Sultan's husband received something that he expected but signed by someone he didn't expect at all. Mr. Sultan, who is referred to in the letter only as my fellow American, received a signed letter not from President Trump, but from his predecessor, Barack Obama. She shared the experience on Twitter. This is unacceptable since Barack Obama has been out of office for almost 1 year, according to the Office of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services said that over 200 letters with this error have been sent out. 300,000 applications for citizenship have been approved since President Donald Trump took office. This is despicable. Should all Obama admin staff still employed under Trump be fired on the spot? Share this report 20,000 times and comment. Trump walked up to window at US Open, tapped it, then did something jaw-dropping. Trump is the frickin' man and has made history as the first sitting US president to attend the US Women's Open. He rolled up to the place and exited the motorcade to wave of thousands of fans. You know what happened the moment that Trump rolled up? People screamed from the crowd, "We love you, Mr. President." Wait till you see what Trump does later. We have such an awesome president. Check this out. Trump came over to wave at his fans from the skybox. The Secret Service kept the crowd down because they were so excited. Ha ha. USGA officials asked the crowd to be quiet to avoid a play that was taking place yards away. Trump got to the course at 3:40 p.m. on Friday off his trip to Paris to visit Macron for Bastille Day. Less than 2 hours later, Trump made a trip to the skybox built behind the 16th T, says NJ.com. We have the best president. The liberal media will tell you otherwise, but they are 100% wrong. Share this if you are proud that you voted Donald Trump and are not afraid to say it. Right after reporters attacked Trump's family, Newt Gingrich went on TV and said the unthinkable. Despite the Don Jr. Russian lawyer story proving to be a big nothing burger, the media thinks they can now personally attack Trump's family. A Washington Examiner story said Trump's 3 most important family members, referencing Ivanka, Eric, and Don Jr., brought dishonor to their father by allowing Don Jr. to take this meeting. The New York Post lead with the headline, "Donald Trump Jr. is an idiot." After these sick attacks, Newt Gingrich had seen enough. After these reporters personally attacked Trump's family, Newt responded in a brutal tirade on Fox News that exposes the media for what they truly are. Could you imagine headlines like this about Obama's family? From Fox News, although Trump Jr. maintains nothing came from the brief meeting, he has been criticized for meeting with a Russian government lawyer in an attempt to help his father's presidential campaign. The New York Post editorial board wrote a piece calling Trump Jr. an idiot. The National Review's David French called out Trump Jr., not only for the meeting but for an avalanche of denials and evasions. And the Washington Examiner's Quinn Hillier went so far as to say President Trump should forfeit his office over the Russia saga. On the story tonight, Newt Gingrich, this is all fevered insanity, and he said everyone should dial down their